In or on the internet? A little or a few? I don't understand. I can count. People are or people is? Today we are going to talk about common mistakes in English. Before we start, remember, for you to avoid all these mistakes, you need to develop an intuition for what sounds natural and what does not. And you can do it by reading a lot or watching movies, TV series, and videos like this one. And a little bit later, you will not think twice about what to say. So keep watching up to the very end to develop your intuition. Hi, I'm Karina and welcome to my channel. Before we start, subscribe to this channel if you want to learn and improve your English faster. Let's get started. Number 1, normal. Very often you can hear, "How are you?" "I'm normal, thanks." But the right way to answer is, "I'm fine, thank you." In English, we don't usually use the word normal to answer the questions about our mood or our day. Instead, one should use words like fine or okay. Normal in English means average. Basically, I'm not strange.
And I am still completely normal.
Saying that you are normal in reply to these questions sounds like you are trying to say that you are a normal person, not strange, and not even crazy person. This may or may not be your case, but it's probably not exactly what you're trying to say. Number 2, in or on the internet. In English, the word internet can cause several problems for English learners. First, when it's used as a noun describing the network we all use. In this case, it is used with a definite article. I love the internet. This is correct way?
The internet.
I love internet. Well, that's dubious. Dubious or debatable. I say dubious or debatable instead of wrong for the second opinion because some native speakers do use the noun without the article. However, most English speakers consider the first option to be the correct one. So it is the one you should use. Another problem is the prepositions. When something is the part of the internet, we say that it is on the internet, not in or at the internet. So I didn't find the article on the internet. That's correct. I didn't find the article in the internet. That's wrong. Number 3, lend or borrow. The word lend and borrow are among the most confused words in English language. Why? Because they are often translated by just a single verb into another language. And what's the difference between lend and borrow? To lend means to give something to somebody. To borrow means to receive something from somebody. And those provided things are expected to be returned to its original owner later. A simple way to decide whether to use lend or borrow is to see whether the sentence would make sense if we used give or receive instead. For example, I lent him my new bicycle. That's correct. I borrowed him my new bicycle. That's wrong. Since you give, you lend, not borrow. And an example in the opposite direction. I went to the bank to borrow some money. That's correct. I went to the bank to lend some money. That's wrong. Again, I went to the bank to receive some money. That's perfectly fine. The other sentence is probably wrong unless you are Bill Gates and the bank wants to borrow money from you. Number 4, boring or bored. Annoyed, annoying. What's the difference? If you say that someone is ing, it means that he himself does the action described by the verb. If he is ed, bored, it means that someone or something does the action or did the action to him. The verb to annoy means to make somebody angry. So if someone is annoying, he or she makes other people angry. If someone is annoyed, it means other people made him or her angry. The same thing with the verb bore. It means that nothing is interesting to you, you're tired of doing things. And if you say, I'm boring, it means that you make other people tired. If you say, I'm bored, it means that something makes you tired. Number 5, a little or a few. First, we will take a look at a little and a few. Both mean essentially the same, some. A certain amount that is not large. A little is used with uncountable nouns. For example, sugar, water. And a few is used with countable nouns. For example, people, cars, houses. For example, could you please put a little sugar in my coffee? That's correct. Could you please put a few sugar in my coffee? That's wrong. I made a few friends in college. That's correct. I made a little friends in college. That's wrong. A little is more common than a few because it is used with abstract qualities like knowledge or anger. For example, I know a little about the topic. Or she is a little upset. So let's talk about few and little. Again, few is used with the countable nouns and little is used with the uncountable nouns. But the meaning is different. They mean most no. For example, few people would argue that it was a good decision. That's correct. Which means almost no people would argue that it was a good decision. Or I know little about the subject, which means I know almost nothing about the subject. So little and few can be used also in the sense of not enough, which directly opposite the a few and a little. For example, there is little milk left. Could you buy some? Which means there is not enough milk left. Could you please buy some? And there is still a little milk. You don't have to buy any. Which means there is still some milk. You don't have to buy any. So economics or economy. The economy is the relationship between production and the supply of money in a particular country or region. So we can say, for example, the economy is in a recession. Economics is a science that studies economies and develops possible models for their functioning. For example, he studied economics at London School of Economics. Economic without an S is an adjective meaning connected with economy. For example, the economic growth is very slow. Advice is, advice are, or maybe advices are. Advices is or are. Slightly surprisingly, advice is uncountable noun. I don't understand. I can count the advice that people give to me. And as such, there is no plural form of it. So, for example, his advice was very helpful. That's correct. Or his advices were very helpful. That's wrong. Since it is an uncountable noun, we cannot say an advice. We would usually say simply advice or piece of advice. So, for example, this was good advice. That's correct. This was a good piece of advice. That's correct. This was a good advice. That's wrong. So people are or people is. If you say people is, you can be almost sure that it is a mistake. The word people is an irregular plural form of person. And unlike some other languages, it is a plural noun. So there are a lot of people at the party. That's correct. There is a lot of people at the party. That's wrong. The same is true for any other verb, not just to be. For example, people generally don't know much about mathematics. That's correct. People generally doesn't know much about mathematics. That's wrong. So, how is your intuition? It gets stronger every time you make an effort. I think that the key to this is to keep practicing, and the most important is to just enjoy the process. It doesn't work otherwise. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed the process of learning about the most common mistakes in English. And if you like this video, please click the like button and subscribe to this channel. See you soon! Bye-bye!